Hello everybody, welcome to this LinkedIn session with us at PwC Sweden, where we will discuss some trends in the procurement domain around resilience and sustainability. My name is Måns Liljenlov, and I will guide you through the journey today in this session. With me today I have Hubert, Carolina and Patric. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think before we start, maybe we should touch up a little bit about who you are. So an introduction round. Would you like to start, Carolina?
Yeah, definitely. Nice to be here. So my name is Carolina Koivisto and I work at Prewave, and we help companies to build more resilient and sustainable supply chains. What about you, Hubert?
Yeah, my name is Hubert Verweij, obviously working for PwC, leading the operations practice. And I'm super passionate about procurement. But my passion for risk management started a couple of years when I was working in the industry and we were hit by COVID. So that is where the passion started, which I'm very happy to share today.
And Patric?
Yeah, my name is Patric Olsson, and I'm responsible for procurement-related questions within advisory and strategy here at PwC Sweden.
Sounds we have the right people in the right place for this discussion. So global megatrends, supply chains disruptions and many new regulations put procurement in the forefront of change. With so many challenges going on, I can imagine, and we're going to discuss that, that working in procurement can be both exciting but also complex. Hubert, what dilemmas do organizations encounter, and how do you set the right priorities?
Yeah, thanks, Måns, for setting the scene and starting with this easy question. But I think you're right. The world is challenging. There are a lot of complexity and uncertainty to manage, which provide a lot of, I would say, dilemmas to the procurement function. And what we see is that with limited time, with so many things to work on, we see a struggle how procurement functions need to prioritize working on the problems of today and the problems of tomorrow. Then there's a question about how to change. Is the transformative approach the best way to do so, or continuous improvement, back in the old times of lean? But finally, and that is the most critical one, and I think also the topic of today, how to find the optimum between spend optimization, cost, resilience, and sustainability.
And listening to you, it doesn't seem like an easy exercise for the organizations. I mean, what is the biggest challenges? I mean, in finding the right focus, or what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, personally I think, and I'm happy to hear it from my colleagues here on stage, that there's a lot of depth in procurement. And it already starts with the way companies are still reporting, and more particularly how procurement departments are reporting. Very often it is limited to hard savings. And what doesn't help as well is that also the leadership have difficulty to explain what the broader proposition of procurement is. And that in combination, that topics like resilience and sustainability are not fully embedded in the purchasing cycle, like cost and quality, that makes it very hard, and that also means that there's still a lot of focus on the cost optimization at the end. I'm a true believer that technology, like Prewave, can be very disruptive in that, bringing the right visibility, also the efficiency. So I believe in supercharging procurement with supply chain intelligence.
And like I said at the beginning, it feels like you have the right people in the right place here. I mean, your passion about procurement is what unites you. But Patric, I'm going to start with you. I know you have a big interest in the financial side of things when it comes to procurement. So from your view, what do you see? What are the challenges?
Well, thanks. I do have a passion in the financial area and cost and capital questions. And what we see that the questions related to cost and capital and working capital, they comes and goes in waves. Typically we see that they are affected by one or several global events. And what we see now is that we are in one of those waves here, where we see an increased interest from different companies, or many companies, to focus on reducing cost or reducing capital. And we believe that this is the effect or the aftermath of what happens connected or after Corona. That we saw disruptions in supply chains, we saw shortages in components, And this created a behavior among the companies to build up stock. This in order to safeguard the risk of resilience and supply chain. But that also led them now to a situation where demand haven't really taken off, so they have a lot of stock, and this stock becomes obsolete, which put them in a hard situation from a working capital perspective. So from that perspective, we see that there right now is an increased focus on those questions related to cost and capital.
And what is would you say the solution here? Is there an easy solution to this working capital issue you are describing?
Well, that would be nice, but as always, there is not one easy solution.
No.
But when we look at working capital related questions, typically we start with trying to create transparency. So we get the understanding of how does it look today, to see what kind of products do we have, which product do we have in which warehouses, in which factories, and so on. And when we have this transparency, it's much easier to find the bottlenecks, and from that on we can find actions to execute upon.
Mm-hmm. It sounds also that cash flow is not only the costly thing here. And over to you, Carolina. I mean, doing nothing can also become very expensive.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Risk doesn't like disappear if
No.
you don't do nothing about it. And if we think about like a leak in a pipe, if you manage it, then it might be good. But if you just leave it, it might overwhelm, and then you are not controlling that risk anymore. And also, I understand that companies are thinking when they are like thinking new systems, tools, that they can be financial pain. But then you are really controlling the cost. But if you don't do nothing, and there is the risk, and it comes on your face, and it's obviously that you don't control anymore that cost of that risk. Let's say it leads to lots of reputation, for example. So definitely it is. Yeah, totally agree.
Hubert, your thoughts on listening to Patric and Carolina here?
Yeah, I can only disagree. Agree what they just say. A slip of the tongue, I would say.
Yeah.
But what I personally learned when I was in the industry is that I think till that time, risk management was not a super popular topic. It was managed by a procurement manager. It was managed by a risk manager, but it was definitely not owned by the CXO level. And I think with events like COVID and other disruptive events, it became a really strategic topic, owned by the CEO and also by his friends as the CFO. So it got way more attention and way more focus, and that really helps to boost the change from only cost orientation, as Patric described, into also resilience. So the question is, how can you find the right optimum? We think that procurement is really in the forefront because, as you know, and as we understand from our clients, a lot of the risk, the impact, but also the opportunities are in the upstream supply chain. And I think personally that procurement has a lot of interventions that they can do to manage resilience. We talk about commercial levers, and I think as you explained, you can build up your stocks. There are a lot of supply-based levers, and what I mean with that, you can do vertical integration, or you go to a strategy for dual sourcing, but you can also simplify your products and reduce complexity, which also helps to improve your resilience. And finally, with all the technology coming in, I think it also helps you to be predictive by better forecasting, but we should not forget that a lot of the good ideas and the resilience come from suppliers. And again, I think that technology can be an accelerator to become more resilient.
Carolina, listening to Hubert here, it sounds like we need to release time from the procurement team. How do we do that?
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I think that tech is the game changer here, definitely. If we are looking up the increasing regulations that companies need to comply, it's extremely a lot of manual work if you don't have any tool for that. So definitely we need to help companies to do that. And I also think one key thing is what technology can bring to companies is also to change from the like reactive mindset to proactive mindset. It obviously improves your effectiveness. And what I think also, if your competitors are already proactive and you are reactive, and when there is a risk, they like secure their stock from another supplier and you don't do that, it's obvious that you lose the profit. So you have to protect your profit also.
Patric, Carolina is talking about technology being effective. What's your thought about on that?
I want to go back to what Hubert said about resilience, and I think that resilience is also about a balance. That you on one hand have the balance of being independent of supply chain disruptions and keep stock close to you so you can deliver your products. But on the other hand, by keeping up stock, you're also tying up money in the capital, and that have a negative effect on the working capital situation. So it's a balance of cost and being resilient. The resilient question is connected to that balance, I would say.
And Carolina, touching on technology again, I know that you did something with Kärcher. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and the results?
Yeah, it was a really like classical case that there was a need to like automate compliance, but also to like a faster time to respond what comes to risk. And through that they implemented our tool, they were like reducing 40 times their manual work, but also 3 days faster time to respond to risk. And I think that's the key point what technology can bring to the companies.
And from your perspective, Hubert, technology, so what do you see?
I really like the word time and timing, because I think there's an element of releasing time for procurement people, but there's also an element about the time to recover from a big incident. And again, technology is really pivotal in this. But what I also learned now working in consulting for more than 20 years, yes, technology is nice, but at the end we are not implementing a system, we are implementing a new way of working. And it starts with leadership engagement. I'm not sure what my colleagues are thinking, but you see a lot of traditional behavior again, bouncing back. It's all about cost and cash at the moment, and we are not underestimating that, but that is not driving the right leadership engagement. But it's also about making risk management a little bit cool, I would say. It has always been a little bit of an old-fashioned topic. So it needs to be cool to work on risk management. It needs to be prioritized, but it also needs to be structured. And what I said before, what we should not forget, that all the risks are in the upstream supply chain. So tier 1 suppliers and tier N suppliers. But we should not underestimate the impact and the help we can get from those suppliers. And finally, to make this all happen, this is what I'm super happy about. We talk about people. So people need to be developed in the right way, which is not only about skills in a new way of working, but also mindset and behavior.
Any thoughts about leadership engagement, making procurement work cool from your side that Hubert said? Any thoughts on that?
I totally agree. I think procurement is super cool and super happy to be here today and talk about it. So yeah, definitely, cool topic.
Yeah. But I mean, on one side, we're talking about technology here, but then on the other side, we have these regulations, CSRD, CBAM, CSDDD. What do you do with that side? You have the technology on one side, and you want to go first?
Yeah, definitely, Mons. And I'm so happy that you started with all the abbreviations, because you can imagine with an overload of regulations, it's super complicated for companies. But let's say complying to regulations, we think that there's something beyond just being compliant. And we think that CSRD, of course, you need to comply to the regulation, otherwise you are out of business. So it's really a must-do. But if you look at CBAM, it has a direct impact on your cost levels. So the companies that are able to implement CBAM in the right way, they are also able to manage cost levels in the right way. We call it value preservation, which is a difficult word to pronounce, while, let's say, CSRD is more about value erosion. But we think, and it's a little bit linked to what you said before, Carolina, is that regulations like CSDDD, if you're not implementing in the right way, your complete supply chain is stuck. It's just stopped the whole business. And that means if you're able to implement that this better and faster than competition, it will create a lot of new value, but it also ensures that you are way more competitive than your peers in the industry. So we think it goes beyond compliance only. It's about creating a competitive advantage if you're faster.
Do you want to add anything, Carolina, here?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Hubert, and I think the purpose of these regulations is super good. Really save our planet, save our people. But I can't just imagine the struggle that companies had with this, because many companies are still in a static compliance mode and mandatory mode, and that's not enough anymore. You have to go up, you have to, what comes to, for example, CSDDD, you have to understand beyond your tier 1. You have to, and if you're a global company which have a 10,000 tier 1 suppliers, it's super hard to map that, and companies need help on that.
And Hubert, tier 1 suppliers, your view on that?
I'm becoming more and more enthusiastic during this webinar, I would say, because for me it's all about the collaboration and also the willingness to collaborate. And I think we already know that collaboration within your own company, with all the functional disciplines, that is hard. Working together with your tier 1 supplier is even more complicated. But how great could it be if companies like us can help clients also with improving what we call vertical and horizontal collaboration. So I think the magic word is collaboration. And I think there's one other topic is that cost, you can easily measure them. You can monitor them. That's a little bit different for sustainability and resilience. So we often see behavior that companies say, yeah, we cannot measure it, so it's not there. I think we have a little bit of a different opinion about this, because I think with the right technology, with the right mindset, you can do a very good guesstimate about disruptive event and what the impact is on your revenue streams. And again, technology plays, we think, a critical role in this.
Patric, I'm going to come back to you here and Carolina again, but I mean, for me, it's clear that it's very important to have this clear overview to stay compliant and in an efficient way. But Patric, do you agree, or are there any other perspectives we are not touching on up here, missing?
We mentioned digitalization here and technology, and I think that digitalization can serve several functions here. I mean, the more classical one that we try to optimize the way of working so we can reduce the number of headcounts working with manual tasks and automate those manual tasks so they can spend time on more qualitative work. That is, of course, very important. But I also think that digitalization can serve as a factor for streamlining the ways of working for all your personnel. And by that, it's also easy to be compliant because you get control of what everyone is doing and how they're working. And you get a uniform way of following the process.
But, Carolina, I mean, I think we all can agree that the technology helps. But do we need to be, as an organization, be scared about the headcounts, and how should you, please guide us a little bit here?
I will do that. Definitely no. I think technology is there to help you to really prioritize your task and automate those things that you can automate. And I think if technology is implemented in the right way and you have a right tool that you need, obviously, then it doesn't increase your headcount. So it's all about, I would say, automation and efficiency.
Hubert, you have a real tech savvy here. The technology is the strongest enabler for success, but is the solution that easy, or what perspective are we not thinking about here?
Maybe what I'm going to say now is a little bit conflicting to what I said before, but maybe 3 additional perspectives. People that know me already for a while, I'm always talking about KPIs are driving the right behavior. And you can use that in a very positive way by using the same incentives for your own co-workers, but also for your partners. Because I think if you include financial incentives and non-financial incentives, you can create an expected behavior that you're looking for. Another thing is where procurement typically is super enthusiastic about cost, quality and service levels. I think they need to be equally passionate about resilience and sustainability. And what I mean with that, embed that in the end-to-end purchasing cycle. And to give an example, if you select a new supplier, it's not only about cost and quality, it's also about resilience and sustainability. But it also matters for everything that is happening after signing a contract, which is typically not the topic procurement people are most interested about. And maybe finally, we believe in upskilling. I think we should not forget that there's a lot of new regulations and a lot of new expectations to people, but also expectations how to collaborate internally. So we think that upskilling is a very strong driver for making this happen. Yeah.
Time flies. It's time to start summarize and rounding off this session. But before that, I would like each one of you to give one key takeaway from this discussion. Patric,
Yes.
you start.
Well, if you haven't embarked on the journey of digitalization yet, it's time to do so, I would say, because digitalization is not an option anymore, at least when it comes to procurement and operations domain. The procurement has become a must or something that you need to have in place. It's mandatory because all your competitors is doing digitalization, and if you want to be competitive, you need to start doing digitalization.
Thank you. Carolina?
I would say the main thing is to change your mindset from the reactive risk management to really proactive like risk management and understanding what happens through like whole your supply chain. But also what I would say that to thinking about the increasing regulations, you don't wait last minute to think about some tool. Take a good time before they come and really prepare your company for those.
Hubert?
It's always nice to close, I would say. But probably remember this dilemma between spend optimization, resilience, and ESG, sustainability. I think the companies that are able to master this optimum better and faster than competition, I truly believe that they will outperform competition in the midterm and the long term. So that's an open challenge to all the listeners. Try to master in managing this optimum.
So try to master the, one more time?
Spend optimization, resilience, and sustainability.
And digitalization is no longer an option. And proactive mindset.
Yes.
There you go. There you have the answers you need. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. And to our viewers here in the comments below, you can find more information about the work we do within procurement at PwC. So until next time, we say thank you and goodbye.